Morning from Disturbia on April 16th, 2024. I just want to put an end to the lie once and for all that he came to his own and his own knew him not. This is a huge lie that, of course, gives credence to the belief that the Jew is really the chosen one. He just did not recognize his Messiah. The question that immediately presents itself to my mind is, why did the Messiah come if he wasn't going to be recognized? The other question is, how can people believe this when it flies in the face of reality, of what we can actually read in the Bible? What happened when the Messiah came, and even before he came, was there was an Israelite captivity in Assyria, which is Germany. And here we have the Gallic Wars. The Gallic Wars were fought, engendered by Roman Philistines against the children of Israel, the Israelites, in Assyria. The Gallic Wars were against the children of Galilee. The Galileans were the disciples of the Messiah. The Galileans is another term for Israelites. And I want to show that to you right now. Here we have in Acts, here we have Bible.org, and it says here, men of Galilee, several times in Acts and Luke records the Galilean origins of the disciples. All of the 12, except Judas Iscariot, were from Galilee. This area was looked down on by residents of Judea because it had a large Gentile population. Wait a minute, they're Galileans. Why was it looked down on by the people of Judah? Because Judah had been taken over by Esau, and we know that from Ezekiel 35:10, Ezekiel 36, and here, what does it say here in Habakkuk? Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity. That is what Esau did, and they are condemned because of it. Here we have in John 7:41, others said, this is the Christ, but some said, shall Christ come out of Galilee? This is also proof that the Messiah was born in Israel and not Judah. I know that they've added Bethlehem, Ephratah, Judah to the Bible, but Bethlehem, Ephratah is in Israel. Bethlehem, I believe, was a son of Ephraim, and this is a very closely kept secret. That's what I believe. I could be wrong. I've shown this on other videos. John 1:47, when Jesus saw Nathanael approaching, he said of him, here truly is an Israelite in whom there is no deceit. How do you know me? Nathanael asked. Jesus answered, I saw you while you were still under the fig tree, before Philip called you. An Israelite in whom there is no deceit. So an Israelite is a Galilean. A Galilean is an Israelite. Jesus was of Galilee, which was an area in Israel, and Bethlehem and Nazareth belonged to it. He's also called the Nazarene. So what happened before Messiah came was that his children were drawn unto him supernaturally, and I'll show you this in Isaiah 60 and in different passages in in Jeremiah, but also Isaiah 9 shows this. Let me look that up real quick here. There's so much to... This is all throughout the Old Testament, and then you get these so-called Jews who are Edomites saying the Messiah of the New Testament does not match the Messiah of the Old Testament. Of course he does. He drew his people to him, and his own knew him. Esau rejected Messiah because Esau's God is Moshiach, who is Satan. John 8:44. Isaiah 9. Nevertheless, the dimness shall not be such as was in her vexation, but when at first he lightly afflicted the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, and afterward did more grievously afflict her by way of the sea beyond Jordan in Galilee of the nations. You see, there's several terms that mean nations. One of them is Gentiles. One of them is Galilee. The Israelites are the Israelite nations, Jacob, Israel, and also Ephraim. So let's go here on to Isaiah 60. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth. That's what we just read in Isaiah 9. It was dark, and then the light shone upon the Galileans, and they were supernaturally drawn back into the land of their nativity, which we will see in a moment in Jeremiah also. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, the Galileans, and kings to thy brightness of thy rising. Remember the star that rose above Bethlehem. They were drawn to it supernaturally, so that the Messiah was actually born there. It's a miracle. Lift up thine eyes round about and see. All they gather themselves together, and they come to thee. Thy son shall come from afar, and thy daughter shall be nursed at thy side. Then shalt thou see and flow together, and thy heart shall fear, and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. They came unto the Messiah. He came unto his own, and his own were drawn supernaturally unto him. They did not reject him. They were his disciples. So here we have in Jeremiah 29, this is what the Lord says, when 70 years are completed for Babylon, I will come to you and fulfill my promise to bring you back to this place. Now you have to understand, history repeats itself. The thing that hath been shall be again. The people were scattered, they were regathered, and they have also been scattered again. After Messiah was crucified, and before he was crucified, he told them, the shepherd shall be smitten, and you shall be scattered. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with your whole heart. And they found him very literally. They found the Messiah. That's what John the Baptist said. Is it you, are you him that we wait for, or shall we look for another? You will seek me when you find me. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and I will bring you back from captivity. It is Jacob, Israel, who is under the captivity of Esau, who is under the captivity of Assyria, who is under the captivity of the Roman Philistine, which we just saw in the Gallic Wars, the war between the war of the Philistines on the Galileans who were in captivity in Assyria. I will bring you back from captivity. I will gather you from all the nations and places where I have banished you, declares the Lord, and I will bring you back to the place from which I carried you into exile, which is exactly what he did. That was Jeremiah 29. Jeremiah 30. So do not be afraid, Jacob, my servant. Do not be dismayed, Israel, declares the Lord. I will surely save you out of a distant place, your descendants from the land of their exile, captivity. Esau was never in captivity. He says that. He says so much in John, in the book of John. I'm not exactly sure where. We can look it up in a minute. Jacob will again have peace and security, and no one will make him afraid. I am with you and will save you, declares the Lord. Though I completely destroy all the nations among which I scatter you, I will not completely destroy you. I will discipline you, but only in due measure. I will not let you go entirely unpunished. That is the nature of God. He purifies the seed. Jeremiah 31, Thus saith the Lord, refrain thy voice from weeping and thine eyes from tears, for thy work shall be rewarded, saith the Lord, and they shall come again from the land of the enemy. And there is hope in thine end, saith the Lord, that thy children shall come again to their own border. I have surely heard Ephraim bemoaning himself thus, Thou hast chastised me, and I was chastised as a bullock unaccustomed to the yoke. Turn thou me, and I shall be turned, for thou art the Lord my God. Surely after that I was turned, I repented. After that I was instructed. I smote upon my thigh. I was ashamed, yea, even confounded, because I did bear the reproach of my youth. Is Ephraim my dear son? Is he a pleasant child? For since I spake against him, I do earnestly remember him still. Therefore my bowels are troubled for him. I will surely have mercy upon him, saith the Lord. Set thee up waymarks, make thee high heaps, set thine heart toward the highway, even the way which thou wentest. Turn again, O Virgin of Israel, turn again unto these thy cities. He's talking about the regathering of what he scattered. What God has scattered, he shall gather. And here we have Isaiah 46:16. He made many to fall, yea, one fell upon another, and they said, Arise, let us go again to our own people, to the land of our nativity, from the oppressing sword of their captivity. Now I wanted to show you something else. It is in John 11:52. Let's take a look at the whole chapter. So, it begins by talking about Lazarus and the resurrection from the dead. When the Jews heard this, they said they wanted to kill both him and Lazarus. And the Jews are conferring. So, but some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Jesus had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, What do we? For this man doeth many miracles. You see, they knew he was doing miracles, and they rejected him because they were not his own. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. What they were worried about was that the Messiah, the Holy One of Israel, would call them out as Esau and destroy them. But that is coming at the very end of time, of course. And one of them, named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, Ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, that the whole nation perish not. You see, this was an Edomite, saying that he was the Messiah, dying for all the people, that the whole nation perish not. And this he spake not of himself, but being the high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus should die for that nation, and not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad. Then from that day forth they took counsel together for to put him to death. You see, he said he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad. What God has gathered, he will scatter. And then in closing, Jesus said, they will be scattered again. I need to just look this up. There's just so much. Matthew 26:31. Then saith Jesus unto them, All ye shall be offended because of me this night, for it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. What God has scattered, he shall gather, and he shall gather the children of Israel again at the end of time. That is in Isaiah 11:11. Amen.